because it literally is the first day that these cards have been legal. Well, sort of 24 hours that these cards have been legal. So we have the band.
Yeah, we have the band. Xixo banned Warlock and JJ banned Paladin.
Yep. Banning Warlock, is that because he'll think it's the best deck, or is it because it's the most unpredictable deck these days with so many different
unpredictable. Like, if it was a Reno Warlock, he might figure that it would be difficult for his... I assume Xixo just has 4 aggro decks. I'm actually quite confident that that is the case.
Yeah, obviously Xixo having to play twice on here tonight, and he has been very busy, so he is known for his aggro decks. He's good with his aggro decks, and of course if you do build your lineup to play all aggro, it probably lowers you, like you said earlier, it lowers your preparation time, it lowers the amount you probably have to burn your brain out during...
You can do it in Conquest, right? In Conquest you're rewarded for having similar decks, whereas in Last Hero Standing you need something to beat all types of decks, and then 4 aggro decks is it's kind of sketchy in Last Hero Standing.
Yeah, exactly, because you need 3 aggro counters in Conquest, but here you can like just have 1. You can just play like Patron and have something else for other matchup, and you'll still do fine against aggro. So I'm not a big fan of the full aggro lineup in Last Hero Standing. But in Conquest, I think it's justifiable for sure. Yeah. But Xixo has done really well with it, so who are we to judge?
It's hard to argue when he's just winning all the time, right?
Yeah.
But hopefully, I mean, of course, I'm a little bit biased. I cheer for JJ since I practice with him. I think he has a good shot in this with his lineup.
Yeah, JJ, of course, if he wins tonight, every chance of making the finals. In this league, just to recap, the top 4 will make the finals. So everybody's still in with a chance, even the 3 players on 1 and 3. Nobody lost all 4 of their opening games. And so every match today is really crucial. Obviously, if Xixo can get the win against JJ in this one, he can probably freewheel a little bit later on because he will be 5-0. But as the finals day will be just a straight knockout, that you don't get an advantage of being first, other than you get to play the player who came 4th. But with the league being so strong, the difference between 1st and 4th isn't particularly large. So just want to make that top 4.
I think they're in a game now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought you guys were watching as well.
Okay. So
they're playing so fast.
I'll turn it over to you guys for now then.
Yeah, well, Xixo is getting wrecked by Honda, pretty much. And then, of course, he just has lethal. Wow. Double rock bite, I didn't even see this.
Yeah, this happened a lot to me. I just, in other games, I just tuned into Xixo and then it's over. Like, it's so fast.
A Doomhammer into double rock biter with like lava burst and lava shock, yeah.
I feel like Aggro Shaman has an edge in this matchup if the Hunter plays the freezing trap.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, when you draw the Doomhammer, that always really that's like the crucial thing for this Shaman deck. It really wins you so many games that you just have no business winning. And then of course the double rock biter dream. It's pretty nasty. He's sitting at like, what was his health? 22? And then you just die.
Wow, we see both Zombie Chow and Midi bots for Super JJ. That is gotta be the nuts. But Xixo's hand, it is not quite as good. It's not quite as good. The Zombie Chow is gonna be really, really good. He might even have to coin out a juggler. Yeah, it sucks, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah. I guess his strategy is already just drawing Doomhammer again. I don't see how he's gonna win back the board in this game. It's really hard.
Yeah.
I guess JJ just missed his turn 3 now.
Yeah, but even Boulderman is really good when he's forced to hero power here. Can get like a huge board next turn.
But the hero power it challenges the Wolf Rider, which is
Yeah, exactly. As well.
kind of ironic. Oh, the Belcher. That's a really important pickup.
So because
So
he played
we
Wolf
see-
Rider, there's no reason to play Ultraman. You might as well just trade in and play the Strider.
Yeah. They're playing so fast.
Yeah, these two guys, for such an important match, do just rattle off their games. They seem to.
As well.
They can
To
play,
be
like,
honest,
their
there's not.
matchups at
They
best.
don't have like any decisions. Like when you're used to playing these decks, you don't have to think about the decision they'll put in.
Well, I feel like JJ had one decision last game. I didn't have time to talk about it because it was already his turn again. But he the turn where he went for the weapon, the buff weapon, Glaive Suka, he could have thought about a different sequencing where he maybe played his companion first, and then if it didn't roll the companion he needed, he could coin out his weapon.
Okay, so what do you
I'm
think
not-
about hitting the mini bot with the Doomhammer? Do you think he can afford to? I was like considering maybe he just had to just hope he top deck something.
The thing is, I'm sure he's like counting how many turns he'll realistically need to
Yeah.
top deep enough damage.
So if
And
you
he
can
doesn't
buy him a
take-
turn, it makes sense. But it
Yeah, you
is
don't
like
wanna take
I would
him.
expect like to take like a whole turn to count stuff like that, count top decks. It's rather complicated.
Okay, yeah. This Lothar is gonna shut it down. Shaman can only kill you if they spend multiple spells in the same turn.
It's going for the Zumi is going for the Doomsayer.
He
Oh yeah, he can. I guess he can still actually he can top deck. Yeah, definitely. This is the play. He can top deck Rock Rider if the opponent doesn't have 1 damage.
Yeah.
JJ,
a bit of BM.
not like this.
Oh, this is gonna be a short day, guys.
Yeah, rattling through those first two games there.
I mean, Xixo's games are just gonna be like 20 minutes each. So no matter if he wins or loses.
And they've even picked their next class like immediately. No messing around. Just I know what I was going to play if I lost that game. Here we go. Here's a
I usually have an idea in last year's standing already.
Yeah, pretty much. When you pick your first deck, you already have in mind like how the rest of the match will unfold. Right? When you pick your first deck,
Yeah, exactly. You
you
do.
get an idea.
And in
Yeah.
Conquest, it just doesn't matter. You just pick something randomly.
Yeah, you just close your eyes and play some macro decks.
Yeah, I use like an online random generator or something
No
like that.
salt, no salt. Yeah, I was actually wondering about Xixo's mates because freeze mates, I guess it makes sense, but because some of the new decks like encourage you to play stuff like
I've just
Freeze
never
or
seen
Acid
Six
Salmon.
play Freeze Mage before, so I was like in doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it would kind of fit if he just had a brain dead aggro deck, a lot of burn. But at the same time, I don't feel like those decks are good in mage. So I was
Super
also
JJ's
kinda-
hand is really, really good. Like, it doesn't get a lot better than this.
Xixo gets the double acolyte value.
But if Xixo can pull a Frost Nova, it's gonna be huge.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Xixo surprising everybody a bit here with actually playing Freeze Mage, just showing off that he can play everything in Hearthstone. He doesn't just play the sort of aggro decks incredibly well. He's just
Just because you bring a deck doesn't mean you know how to play it. But I know Xixo knows how to play this deck.
Mhm.
We've seen him play it before, I think. But it's a long time ago. I mean, Xixo can play every deck in the game, let's
Mhm.
be honest.
So even playing Freeze Mage, I mean, I know turns are still fairly straightforward sometimes for a player of this standard, but it's interesting he's still rattling out the moves, even playing Freeze Mage, which is one of the tougher decks to play.
I like the Quartermaster, just go for the aggression.
Yeah, so like Blizzard is not gonna get full value, but Xixo has a Flame Strike to follow up, so he should be fine.
He's gonna Blizzard now, right?
Yeah, and then he can Flame Strike next turn if he chooses to. Or Blizzard again, if that's better.
And the good thing for JJ is that Xixo he doesn't have any secrets up. So even after he AoE clears, on the following turn he will probably like to set up a secret. It's gonna like... He needs to spend some mana on a secret at some point. Unless he top decks Mad Scientist.
Flame Strike is a lot better than Blizzard here, because you have Doomsday, you can Blizzard Freeze.
Yeah.
And Flame Strike is more awkward to cast, so you don't want to do it when you can clear the majority of the board, because the freeze effect matters a lot more if you can't clear the majority of the board.
The Nova is probably pretty good here because you have the follow-up minion. Blizzard, yeah, Blizzard. Take the costly one. This is better. You want to use the expensive one. Have the Nova for a possible Lothar.
So Xixo only has 10 damage after Alex, so he's not quite there yet. And we also see a Lay on Hands to make that, so he needs 23 damage after Alex.
Yeah, but if you do Lay on Hands next turn, then you won't be dealing with Alex. So then Alex will just smack you in the face for 8.
Yeah.
So if you spend Lay on Hands next turn after Alex, being Alex, you're actually not healing. So you'll have to do something else if you can. Like Ultramanning the Alex might even... But it's so bad.
You definitely just go for it here when you got like a board clear. It's so good. There's no big hits.
Yeah, board clear with a follow-up.
Yeah, like Ultraman.
Yeah, the Belcher was good.
Yeah, it's really, really good. But even then, he wouldn't... Like, he was one off lethal. In case he doesn't top tank something, and there was no Belcher.
Yeah, but he would get that.
No, he was actually... No, he was actually have exact lethal, right? Yeah, he would actually have exact lethal. If there was no Belcher there. So that Belcher saved his life.
But at that point, it's when if you don't deal with Alex, it's pretty much just over.
Yeah, Lay on Hands would just stay there. Even if he didn't have the Belcher, he would probably still just do Ultraman.
Yeah. And this, well, I mean, Freeze Mage is extremely favored in this matchup, exactly for the reason we just saw, that Doomsayer goes off so frequently. It's really hard for the Paladin to stop it. He needs to have the quality, or if he's playing an Iron Beak, having drawn that. And since JJ didn't, he's getting punished. It's just how the matchup goes.
The good news for JJ is that Xixo's hand is actually not that great. He had Thousand to survive, but it's not quite as strong if you don't have any card draw or expensive cards in hand, like Antonidas or something. So actually, Emperor on this hand is not really that strong.
Xixo might go for like a freeze play this turn, where he just hopes that JJ doesn't have a taunt, and then he can connect to the face next turn with his minions. Because if he doesn't freeze the board, the thing is he has a Doomsday, so he kind of also wants to keep this Frost Nova.
But on the other side, he has like attack power on the board, so you also kind of want to preserve that.
There's like two considerations. Do you want to save the Nova for a Doomsayer proc, or do you want to protect your minions so that you can connect to face? And he actually chooses to go for the Nova. I don't blame him for this play at all.
I like this play. But what do you have? If you get a Doomsayer proc through, what do you have on the other side? Nothing, right? If you could connect those 5 to face, it might have mattered.
I guess he went for this sequence because he didn't want to get consecrated. He would rather get True Silver, because then at least his Emperor dealt damage.
Yeah.
He could have traded.
He could have went for a play where he would have 8 power instead of 5 on board. If he,
exactly. He would be weak to
but then Consecrate could clear. There hasn't been Consecration spent now. And he wouldn't tank 5 damage.
Is he actually finding a way here? Xixo has drawn pretty dead the last couple of turns.
Yeah.
He would have really liked seeing an Arcane Intellect or something like this.
We see a heal bot and a True Silver. That's 12 heal in hand, and he's already at 22 post Alex.
Feels like this
nothing in Silver. But if Xixo managed to get
Antonidas
next turn, it is gonna be.
But he's running out of time.
I think he needs to get it now, right? I might actually.
Science is a bad draw. I guess I called this too early. I felt like Xixo would win, but
Yeah,
if
but
you're drawing like
if
this,
Xixo just had any card draw, he would win. But his Emperor just hit like nothing
yeah,
for 3 turns, so it didn't matter. From that position where Xixo was in, you were gonna win like the majority of the time as Freeze Mage with like random draws. It just so happened that he got double Iceland Frostbolt and AoE when he didn't need or like freezes when he didn't need freeze.
yep. Bit unfortunate for Xixo. I mean, the game is not entirely over yet. You can still draw an Antonidas, I guess. But it's getting to that point where the Antonidas will probably be dealt with somehow because of something sticking to the board. Because you'll have to freeze the face because of the Ashbringer.
Yes, I felt like if JJ had the consecration there, it would be really good. Then it would just be over because you could just pop.
JJ learned from last time. He's not proccing the barrier. Well, this was the second barrier though, so it didn't matter at all. Actually, in this spot, maybe it was better to make sure that it's a barrier, so you're not like worried about it being a duplicate. I feel like in this spot, when you've seen the first barrier, it's actually better to proc the. Is there an argument? I guess if the opponent Alexes himself, but he can't do that in this scenario, so it should be better to just pop the barrier. I think it's a very minute thing. It's like doesn't matter 99% of the time. What do you think?
I'm not sure. Why is it you? Why should he pop the barrier there?
Because it's the second one, right? So there's no benefit in having it, and except for if the other guy Alexes himself.
I guess so. Knowledge if it was a random other secret.
Exactly, like you know it's not a duplicate.
Yeah,
It's that versus if he somehow clears your board, he gets to Alex, and then he has the extra damage from the armor. So there's an argument for both of them. But I feel like you've seen all of the AoEs apart from maybe one. He spent 2 Blizzards and he spent a Nova, I can recall, and he spent a Flame Strike. So there might have been. Was there a Nova left?
I think he used both Novas.
In that case, the other guy's never gonna be able to clear board and Alex himself. So I think it's slightly better to actually prop the secret. It's like it's 0.001 or something better.
Yeah, it's marginal. It can be hard to think of these things like in the heat of the battle. So now we have Xixo switch to looks like mid-range Druid.
So he's just fooling everybody.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, both archetypes are really strong.
He really sold the aggro thing as well by starting off with his aggro deck. After that, you'd kind of assume, oh, okay, he's just playing 4 aggro decks again. And then he just has Freeze Mage. Unfortunately for him, it didn't really work out. He still lost.
Or maybe it was just jet lag from so long with Conquest when he made his first lineup and then he like realized
he won all the games, but maybe it wasn't the best strategy to just have aggro decks. Yeah, maybe.
Like it could be. I was like, I had to think a lot. It was so far away from me playing Last Hero Standing. It is like you have to think more in Last Hero Standing, like strategy-wise, than in Conquest.
So we had to choose between Knife Juggler and Muster. Both of them get absolutely destroyed by Swipe.
So, but since you play Quartermaster as well, Quartermaster with Muster is so good against mid-range Druid.
The Muster was mana efficient, but he's probably thinking that he doesn't have a Quartermaster. He's trying to save it. Or that if he could muster this turn, he could snipe like a Shade or something. But it's kind of weird because it's Xixo's turn 4. He didn't play.
So is he gonna play around Swipe a little bit, but trading? Maybe hoping for 1 softness? It is actually rather difficult.
You could justify playing Shredder over Swipe in this scenario, I think, from Xixo's side. You would have to not have a 5-drop, I think, but... Oh, that's the Swipe. Xixo thinking it through, but since he doesn't have a 5 mana minion, I feel like this should be a decent swipe play here. What happens if he plays Shredder and trades? I guess he's contemplating playing Shredder and then trading.
Yeah, Shredder and trading with the juggler, it's also reasonable. The thing is that I'm pretty sure that the juggler, if he trades Shredder into Shredder, the juggler can hit the stuff that pops out.
Yeah, the Xixo's piloted Shredder was played first.
Exactly. So if it was the other way around, he might have risked attacking into the Shredder. Maybe there was like a, if you were lucky, one toughness minion and it will die to the swipe as well.
This is the turn where you risk the Emperor. I mean, because there's nothing else that is gonna swing you back in a favorable position. You just have to hope that the opponent will trade into the Emperor, which is actually also extremely likely.
But Xixo is getting dangerously low. It looks like he might just have to somehow use like a defensively combo or something. Maybe not this turn.
I don't think you can win with that line. Maybe
can you make like a setup lethal here or something?
Like it's an Ancient of Law and a Wrath this turn. It costs 7 mana. You put some power on the board.
But he can actually. So if the opponent has no taunts to heal, he could set up lethal, but it's too risky, right?
By playing how?
Wrath for 3 and 1. Like he could, he can also Wrath for 1.
Yeah.
But that didn't play around through Silver Heal, I think.
So.
This is the Xixo play, just going face.
Yeah, just going face.
Oh, I guess I guess he didn't set up for lethal because he drew the Living Roots, right?
Yeah.
So I would probably have Wrath for 3 there instead. If you're gonna do that play.
Well, I mean, he's forcing his opponent to trade into the Shredder with what he has on board.
Yeah, but he could have Wrath for... he didn't have the Living Roots before he Wrath for 1. He could Wrath for 3, and then he could do the same, just the 6 mana force, and then put him to 14 instead of...
Yeah, it was... To be honest, it was probably better the way that you described it.
Because
if you wanted to play. Oh, wow. But...
so that is really...
It just so happened that this was the winning play because he's not playing around the 16 damage. I know a lot of players don't like Living Roots, and he needed to have that plus the combo. Yeah.
What was JJ's alternative play there? Healbot and
the Healbot is you only have then a mana addict, Healbot, Zombie Chow, Hero Power. You probably couldn't Hero Power.
No, you couldn't Hero Power. You only had 1 mana left.
Yeah.
So the issue with that play was that like if the opponent played Dr. Boom, you could just lose by losing board. It was probably more likely than you would be dead that turn, even though you saw a Thoros.
100% agree with playing the Dr. Boom there. That's definitely.
Even if it was there, I definitely agree with JJ's play. But I don't agree with Xixo Wrathing for 1 instead of 3.
Yeah, I can see that. Wrathing for 3 was better to set up lethal. He was extremely all in with this play.
Yeah, I like the all in play there. I like the line of. I think he would just lose board if he made like a. He could law heal or something, and
JJ actually traded his whole board into the Shredder, just to play around combo, and then the combo plus Living Roots. Yep.
Xixo has an awful hand this game. A natural mistake, yeah.
But it's not a matchup where the Druid has to draw extremely well. They can still win with this type of hand, which is amazing.
Do you know what JJ is playing exactly?
Yeah, we talked about Control Warrior.
Okay.
I mean, I know he's playing Control Warrior because we made the lineup yesterday.
Is there anything special in that list?
There are a few like small tech cards. I don't want to reveal them in case they don't get shown now, and he can
Okay.
use them in another match. I don't want to give his future opponents any. But yeah, I know the exact list.
Ooh, he gets an innovate there. That's pretty good. But there's a lot of options right now.
Yeah.
Is he considering wrathing the Acolyte here just to... Like, he knows it's gonna be a long game, so...
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that, but on the other hand, all his cards are so expensive that an innovate can really help.
He has Tharison next
turn,
so it's fine. I think it's fine to do. Just taunt through
But Tharison, if you think about it, it only buffs 2 7-drops. You're not gonna play those 7-drops on the same turn. Okay, he uses it to cycle, so the Emperor will be better next turn.
That's also a reasonable play.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a chance. There was a chance that the Emperor would survive behind the taunt, but against Warrior, it's so unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, there's one of the tech cards, you can call it. The Unstable Ghoul. It's not something that we see too often.
So what's the thinking behind Unstable Ghoul in Control Warrior? Is it just because it interacts so well with the Acolyte and the Armor Smith?
I think it's something you put in to counter aggro.
Yeah, especially Paladin.
Yep.
Because everybody's playing Paladin at the moment, so you just want to clear things up.
His strategy is to ban Paladin, so I don't know how much that makes sense. Right, he banned Paladin in this one, so it has to be his strategy.
So it's good against, like, it's decent against aggro Druid, it's good against aggro Shaman.
Is it good against aggro Shaman? I mean, does it... Yeah, they have 1 health. Yeah, it's good, yeah, for sure. It's good against Hunter, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know if you expect a whole lot of Hunter in this format. But, okay, so the Emperor actually... Oh my god, he got the combo.
Yeah, the thing is, if you hit 2 combo pieces, you can make double combo without innovates. Because when you hit 2, it's 7, and plus the second row, it's 10. So it's really optimal to hit 2 combo pieces with the Emperor in this matchup.
Oh, Dr. Boom is so bad on this board.
Yeah.
He probably has to go for the 5-10, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Never uproot by the sum.
I agree. Yeah, never uproot. I don't think you play the Smith first here. I mean, I know you don't. You get 1 more armor, but you might not have a play behind it. I assume we're gonna see some sacking one of the Acolytes, right? The 1-2. Wow, what? Ah. What if he doesn't pick something up? Never punish. I mean, if he didn't pick up something useful now, he would have no play this turn except.
If he picked up a shield block, a shield slam or execute, then he could. If he didn't play the armor, then he could just take her.
I feel like he's actually being punished here. This turn ended up being not very good.
I mean, armor is good, but at the point he had so much armor that it was more important to have like an efficient board play. And getting armor this turn, I felt like.
I prefer trading in the Acolyte first and then probably just ending up... I mean, he drew the Taskmaster, so maybe you could Taskmaster then. But Seal Maiden would not be that dumb either. You need to somehow convert these cards into mana, right? I mean, you need to convert the mana into actual minions. They're not doing anything sitting in your hand.
Oh, Xixo is going for the combo now?
I mean, he's realizing that these armor smiths will actually give him so much help.
Yeah, I think he's just realizing that he's not gonna be able to burst him down ever.
It's gonna go for the long game.
He's just choosing to play. This is like the point where Xixo went away from the combo, finished that to just going for outvaluing the warrior.
Yeah, this is a get-on play.
It is not generally what you want to strive for in the beginning of this matchup, but the warrior sometimes can get so much armor that you kind of have to.
BGH, I guess we'll see a Dr. Boom.
Last turn you could also have went for like just like a
Belcher
turn or something.
The what?
Xixo could have saved the combo and like went for boom or something. He could have like a lot of.
Yeah, I agree. There were different lines, but I don't mind seeing the combo. I think.
Yeah, I don't
We're
fault.
playing so fast, we can't even. We don't have actually time to evaluate them.
Yeah, we have to speak about the last the last play like 3 turns ahead or something.
He chose to actually take save protect damage on his face when he used the combo as well, rather than do the extra 2 damage to the warrior's face.
Yeah, the reason is that he's turning it into a value game, so he doesn't really care about damage to his face. He rather want to like it's almost more likely that the warrior will burn him down with like 2 despite hits or something in the ground.
If you're going for the long game, then your health is somewhat important because at some point you'll just be in Grom range.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, I agree with the if Xixo wanted to come in there, I would have like.
This is a good point for JJ. I assume he's just gonna leave up the boombot when he plays it this way. I think it makes a lot of sense. He's also seeing what we were talking about, that damaging Xixo's face when he's going for the long game is actually valuable. Oh, we see Raptor in Xixo's deck. So he's actually one of the guys who's playing Raptor instead of Shade, even in the mid-range Druid. I don't know, I feel like Raptor is so much weaker than Shredder. I'm not sure if I think it's better than Shade.
I think Raptor is like it's decent in aggro metas. Shade is really bad against Paladin, for example. And like in aggressive metas, I like Raptor more than.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
I also played a DreamHack. I personally actually prefer this.
JJ is just going face.
So total role reversal here is the Druid's been playing.
I guess it's reasonable. Otherwise, you'd have to trade into Shredder with your Belcher, and then trade your Shield Maiden into the Sylvanas and give the Slime. Or maybe you could trade into Belcher and trade into Shredder and ignore Sylvanas. I think I like the face play then. The trades were so bad, and you're actually bringing Xixo down to very uncomfortable health. And having the execute, you can just execute Sylvanas now if you want to. I assume we'll see a brawl though. But if the turn had unfolded differently, we might have just seen the execute.
Especially with the boom top deck, I feel like you want to clear the board now.
I still like the brawl, just because you look at the hand size from Xixo, you're not gonna get a better brawl.
Let's say Super JJ had more life and he didn't top deck boom there, but something useless. I think you want to you could take the damage and then brawl in case you'll remove a taunt or something later the next turn. But this case, it is still a lot of damage. He knows there's a raw left, right?
Wait, so maybe boom is actually decent here. I mean, oh what?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he clears there, he's gonna boom for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play boom there, you definitely clear in Sylvanas.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wondering if this.
Yeah, I like executing that as well.
I guess.
Could you have played boom there on face before and then executed Sylvanas?
But
it's really dangerous.
Just
blow all the bots up.
I think it matters a lot how many swipes we saw. Maybe we saw 2. Interesting. But he does set up lethal this way, so maybe it's just better than brawling. Yeah, it seems like it won him the game. Yep. So 3-2 for JJ.
So JJ taking down that absolutely frenetic match where Crane and Lindgren doing an amazing job